Let's do a virtual road trip to Oregon and look at some dog culture. So, dog culture is very much connected to abortion culture. Wait a minute. What's abortion culture? Well, think about some of the primary things that dog owners will say. Dogs are better than kids. I trust dogs more than kids. Dogs are cheaper. Dogs are easier. Get a dog. It's cheaper than a kid. Well, the same thing is true within abortion. It's like, well, I can't afford a kid right now. Well, I don't have the time. I don't have the resources. There's all types of antenatal things and misanthropy things within both dog culture and abortion. We put dogs above humans, and then we put humans at a very low priority. So, we're going to go to Oregon, and I'm going to demonstrate how this all ties in. And I'm going to also show you guys that love dogs. There's another important hidden topic within here. If you love Oregon, then you need to start standing up for yourself and the current dogs that you already own. So stick around, we got some stuff to look at. First, we're just looking at some Planned Parenthood locations. As you can see, a great number of them are in Portland. It shows 5 on the screen, but I've been able to find some other ones if I scroll over here. But without a doubt, in Oregon, if you want to get rid of your kid that is developing within inside of your body, you got a lot of easy options, and it's not going to be a big deal. You're mostly going to get supported for it. You're going to be told that it's healthcare. And of course, in some cases it is. In some cases there's disease and other stuff, but that can be prevented by abstaining from sex. So I'm not here to discuss abortion specifically, but I just wanted to show you guys that in Oregon and other places, it's almost like it's just a cool thing, especially in Portland. Portland is very liberal, left leaning, and so let's look around Oregon some more also. So now we have the no kill shelters, the dog rescues, whole lot of those, whole lot of those. So you can go to these places and give them a dog. They'll take care of the dog. They'll say don't kill the dog. If you go to one of these places and you have a dog that was hit by a car and maybe has a bone marrow disease, they will try to convince you to keep the dog alive. If you want to put down a dog that's just really old and you don't want it to get sick and suffer, and you got a new job, people will just treat you terrible. How dare you get rid of a dog? And instead, you'll go to one of these places and they'll want to rescue the dog, refurbish it, sell it back out to people out in society. And so that's like a disconnect. It's like a cognitive dissonance. We're killing our kids, but we're going out of our way to rescue all these dogs. And Oregon people, Oregon dog owners, you guys are paying for this. So stick around and I'll show you how it is simple and obvious that you're doing this. So next up, let's just look at some numbers from Oregon. So for example, we have 4,300 abortions were reported in Oregon. In Multnomah County, that's the little part that I was showing you in the maps, in Portland has the highest number. So those little red dots on the map, that's where those 1,217 abortions come from. So while they're convincing people to get rid of their little unborn children, at the same time, let's go back. At the same time, all of these organizations are pushing people to have more and more and more dogs. More and more dogs, guys. Go get yourself one of these dogs, donate some money to it, get yourself a care credit card, run that care credit card up to the max taking care of a dog, but at the same time, they're over there killing all these unborn kids. Yeah, all these potential Oregonians. Like, check this out. All over Oregon is all kinds of cool places to go. Don't you think those kids maybe want to go there? Yeah. But nope, you're just going to abort them. That doesn't seem right to me. Let's look at some more numbers from Oregon. So our birth rate is decreasing and is currently among the lowest in the nation. So while we're not having enough kids to keep our tax base healthy and to replace our humans, we're overbreeding, overpopulating dogs, bringing in dogs from out of state. There is a dog breeder story that I'll put in the description. It's about these little poodles. This lady recently got in trouble for breeding them because people buy them by the dozen. These things fly off the shelf, but they live in horrid conditions in these dog breeding things. And so while we're breeding dogs like crazy, bringing in dogs from Texas, our birth rate is low. Our human birth rate is low. And even if you're a dog lover, you know that all dogs are taken care of by humans. So this is a real issue. This is a real issue for the health of everybody. Even if you're a dog lover and you want dogs to have the best life ever, you need to quit putting dogs first and start putting humans first, because you need those humans to take care of your lazy, jobless mutts. So, and Oregon also, look at this. Our population is experiencing a decline. Especially, look, Multnomah County. Yeah, Multnomah County, right here, where all these, where all these abortion clinics are. That's where the population is decreasing, and that's where all these dogs are coming in that get shipped out to Central Oregon and everywhere else. So we're literally taking little babies out of the wombs of their mother and putting dogs in their place. Not like actually doing that to the physical body of the woman, but that's what we're doing. The womb of the woman is for the child to be safe, to get nutrition, to be taken care of by the family. And we're not allowing that to happen. We're having abortions. Instead, we're giving that to dogs. We're giving that to more and more dogs. Safety, food, health, happiness, houses. Taxpayer-funded stuff goes to dogs all the time. Many financial assistance that come from federal go to people that own several dogs. And that's all supposed to go to our humans. So we're literally doing a brood parasite thing here by doing all these abortions and replacing that with dogs. So here's what I was talking about when I said that the current dog owners need to pay attention to this too. You're the attitude that you hold worshiping dogs. Apologies, but it's absolute effing bullshit. Look at this. A rescue organization flew 50 at-risk dogs from Texas to Portland, where they became welcomed by foster families. We are literally flying these dogs in from out of state into a state that already has increasing taxes, decreasing our tax base by aborting these children, but bringing in more dogs that are paid for by your Oregon taxes. How are you going to take care of your dog when you have to pay more taxes for freaking out-of-state dogs from Texas? Yeah, Texas. Guys, Texas is a freaking dog nuttery state, and Oregon is taking in all these dogs from them. Texas people, you lazy freaking jerks, take care of your own nasty dogs. Freaking ridiculous. So, another thing, Oregon's facing dog overpopulation problem. So, our dogs are becoming overpopulated, more stray dogs, more puppy breeding, more overflowing shelters, more dogs being brought in from out of state. Meanwhile, in the background, we're killing our potential Oregonians, our potential Portlandians that want to hang out and do fun Portland stuff. Nope. You're going to give all of that cool Oregon stuff to dogs, and then at the same time, lend to this dog overpopulation problem. Wow. Nice job, Oregon. Nice job putting yourself second to dogs, even when it includes overpopulation and dog suffering. It's ridiculous. The whole thesis and thought process behind dog ownership is just a fail for everybody. Now, what do we have here? We have this place called In Defense of Animals. So this came from our little map lookup right here. So that's one of the places here. As you can see off on the left, I just clicked on it. But it's one of the many, many no-kill, taxpayer-funded dog shelters right there in Portland. Here it is. And so what do I mean by taxpayer-funded? How is In Defense of Animals taxpayer-funded? It is a 501c nonprofit organization. So when these types of organizations fly a jet plane from Texas full of dogs that often have heartworms and fleas and ticks and bed bugs, catching free rides on their collars and fur, all the money that they spend, they can claim that as an expense, and that can go against their tax burden. Also, the donations that these places get, they do not have to pay taxes on that. And so we're decreasing our tax base, and we're making current taxpayers pay for this influx of dog overpopulation. Let me give you guys a quick little bit of schooling about this. A strong tax-based population is important. It helps ensure stable funding for public services, like schools, police, and infrastructure. So we are literally reducing our tax base of humans that can get a job. Dogs can't get a job. Wake up, people. But we need that tax base to be healthy, and we're just not letting the tax base happen. And the current tax base has to pay for it. And look at some of the stuff it talks about here. Infrastructure. So those dog rescue organizations that get to get all these tax breaks and get millions of dollars in donations and not pay taxes on them, they get to use the infrastructure that you pay for. The current Oregon people, the current Oregon dog owners that are paying for this infrastructure, you guys are paying for it from your taxes because they use it and they don't pay taxes. You know, we're so worried about like illegal immigration and welfare and stuff like that. But this dog culture is just as bad, if not worse, especially because it promotes the same thought processes as is within the abortion culture. And as it says right here, a growing population can lead to increased tax revenues, which supports community development. But we have a falling population of tax base and an increasing population of tax users, aka dogs and those rescue organizations. And now, last but not least, a decreasing tax base leads to higher tax rates for existing taxpayers. So this ridiculous dog worship of bringing in these dogs, that's what's creating this type of problem. We're decreasing our tax base, and then that means we got to pay higher taxes for everything else. You ever wonder why stuff in Oregon is so expensive? This is a big part of it. So whether you are on board with my opinions about abortion or dog culture, that may or may not matter. The fact of it is, just from a point of keeping Oregon healthy, this is stupid. Overpopulating dogs, bringing in dogs from out of state while we kill off our potential taxpayers, it's just like ignorant and moronic, and it makes no sense. And it's crazy that nobody talks about this because it's almost like it's being done on purpose to us. So let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. If you're from Oregon, let me hear from you in the comments. And before we go, I want to show you this one thing about the dogs that are coming from Texas. So look what they call these dogs. At-risk dogs from Texas. You know, Texas can't take care of their own dogs, so Oregon taxpayers have to take care of them. God, you guys, do you really just realize how stupid this is? But think about this whole thing about at-risk dogs. We have at-risk humans that are being developed right now in the uterus of Oregonian women. Those are humans that are at risk. And we're going to suck those humans out of the uterus of Oregon women? Yeah. So there's some type of cognitive issue here. There's some type of problem. There's some type of misanthropy, antinatalism going on here. And it goes right along with the dog worship, because they go out of their way to say a dog is at risk that lives in Texas and it needs a jet plane ride to Oregon. But they won't admit that Oregonians themselves are at risk of being aborted. The second they attach themselves to the uterine wall, they're at risk of being aborted. And once they're born, they're at risk for paying taxes for all the other lazy dog owners that are adopting dogs from out of state. See you guys later.